Hello and welcome to the channel. Hello! Right, today we're lighting the fire, and I'm going to use, to light the fire, I don't see why we can't use paper actually. I've stopped using it for a while, but the reality is I don't actually get much, because I'm not really into buying, newspapers. So, I mean, it has been a bit tricky getting the fire to light lately. I think it's the wood that I've been using is the wood that I got for the guys that chopped the tree down at the back of the garden in January. It's just not quite, I don't know what sort of wood it was. I think it was pine or something. So I don't really see a big problem with that, you know. Perfectly legal. So I'm recording this. This is Thursday. Don't know what date. I don't. I'll have to check the date in the computer. I wonder if we could just give that a bit of a boost. So today, we've had a wonderful time. So what I did yesterday when I lit the fire, I went away through the house on the computer. I forgot that I was lighting the fire, and it was hot, you know, because it was like whoosh. You know, when you leave the door open a wee bit like that, like what I'm doing there, it just goes absolutely whoosh, you know, and it's not good for the fire really to have it too hot, so I can turn the air down. So I've got to watch and not do that. I'm probably going to do that now, go through the, because that's what we're doing. We're doing a Chunel update. There's a guy that I want to have a look at, a cyclist, a mad cyclist. It's this guy, I don't know, yeah, I'll have to show you. I don't even know if it's really, I let some people say, oh, why are you bothered? But it's interesting to see how people interact with each other. I think I'm wasting quite a lot of energy, and Jordan Peterson said that, well, Jesus said that, to, if people aren't listening, move on, you know. That is perfect advice, isn't it, really? You can't keep shouting at people, but at the same time it gets traffic into my channel, keeps things moving. So here we are, Thursday afternoon. The van's ready for Saturday, the car's ready for Sunday. I haven't been out in the Granada yet, is the only thing. So we've got paper and fire lighters in there. It's not much kindling though, that's the only slight problem. It's quite big stuff. So really, at the end of the day, when we're talking to these people on the internet, they are nutters, aren't they? I mean, I'm a nutter as well, so I'm not in denial about that. I admit I'm a nutter. I don't think they'll admit they're nutters. They probably think they're right. So, anyway, one of the things I did today was I got that European style bath erected. So the videos are on, and I put it up Facebook for 50 quid. It seems to be about 100 quid new. That one is new, so I put it on at 50 quid. Quite a cool thing actually. It's quite deep. I'm not sure how strong it would be. No, I take it it's got legs on it, so when you fill it up with water, well, how are you going to fill it up with water? Are you going to use this in the house? Yeah. So you're going to run a tap off somewhere, aren't you? So the thing is, I think it would be pretty cool, but I don't need it. But it's one of the things I thought, oh, this is really cool, this. It's like, I know, but you don't friggin' well need it, do you? And so we'll just see if somebody wants it or not. Oh God, not very promising, is it? I think it will. It's going. It is going because I've done with a bit of flame underneath it there, eh? It's a kind of top-down method. So when you notice it, see when you open it, and the air goes in, and then I think the sort of movement causes it to, or shutting the door, causes an influx of air. Like that. If you get it doing that, and then the actual camera doesn't pick it up the same as what I can see with my eyes. You know, it's more of a sort of big blur with the camera. One of the things I was going to do was get some kindling sorted to do it, and look, I didn't do it, so. There's nothing really, there's all big stuff I've got here. I think that's going to go. Yeah, I think we're successfully going. There's a bit there that might fit on top. Let's see if that'll fit on top of there. At least it's not all falling out. Oh, look at that. It fits. It's just gone 6 o'clock. Some idiot said to me today about the climate crisis. He says you wouldn't be. I said there's no such thing as a climate emergency. He says you wouldn't be saying that if you're in Florida. Florida was built in the sea. You know, they're so stupid, aren't they? It's like Florida was built in the sea. You know, as a hurricane. Is this the first hurricane we've ever had? You know, and it's like they base everything is on like 100 years or something. That is absolutely nothing in the history of planet Earth. 100 years, 50 years, 60 years. It's actually like just incredible how stupid they are. It's a climate emergency. So really, well, it's about, is it man-made, you know? I mean, obviously climate change is, yeah, because that's natural, it does. Like, so where we live in Stirling, it's built, well, not all of it, but most of it's built, that was all underwater, apart from where the castle is. Stirling was underwater. So now if it floods, does that mean there's more rain? No, there's less, because it was underwater before. It's like fucking stupid. It's got to be a climate emergency. No, dumb bass. And this other dumb woman I was arguing with today about, see, they're wanting to build 6,000 houses in Falkirk. They're going to build it on farmland. And there's no other way to describe it. It is actually a farm called Tame Farm. So you can't like talk about this without talking about immigration, because immigration is the cause of it, right? Immigration means we need more places for people to live, obviously, right? So, oh, she did the usual. She says a lot about you and all this. She's a virtue signalling moron, you know. Rebecca Maxwell, virtue signalling moron. You know, so they try to make you feel so bad, but all you're really doing is you're talking about, and you're exercising your responsibility as an adult to discuss these matters, and you've got somebody like her comes along and says, oh, you know, you're racist and everything, and you don't, you know, what does that say about you? It's all about virtue signalling, and she's such a wonderful person, you know, and the reality is she's not, because at the end of the push comes to the shove, she's only saying that because she doesn't have to pay. Well, she is paying, but she doesn't realise it. So it's when they come along and take her house away from her and chuck her out, that's when she'll say something. Or you know, the same in the climate crisis. They come along, take your gas boiler away from you, then you'll say something. Right, it's affecting you. But as long as you think... So what the cunning thing with the globalists is they'll blame it on all sorts of other things. So it is affecting you, but you blame it on something else. So that's what they do, and that's what it's quite annoying. These people, they're generally quite thick, really. Is what they are, but they're not facing up to responsibilities. Is the main thing, and I try to. I don't know. Am I wasting my time? Yes. I mean, my personal feelings are I don't want 6,000 houses being built on farmland in Falkirk. I don't want that, right? So does that make me a racist? Well, no, not really. So the reason I don't want that is because it's a short-term solution. So you really need to look at where are these people coming from that are moving into these houses. So you'll get the people from Glasgow or Edinburgh moving to them, and then the immigrants or whatever will be going into where they lived. That's probably what sort of happening. So you need to have a look at the whole picture rather than just I don't know, Jordan Peterson said it once. It's like when you look at one small thing and you're not looking at the bigger picture. But so what's probably going to happen is the corporations are going to make tons of money off the houses, right? And then maybe there's going to be some kind of crash in our system, a money problem, and the whole thing's going to get left to ruin. There'll be people living there with no doctors, no dentists, the biggest problem could be what we don't, throughout the United Kingdom and the Western world, we don't have food security. So you're going to land up eating, this is what they want. They'll be shipping in processed food and everything. You'll be eating processed food. You won't be able to, probably won't be able to go and get healthy food. Healthy homegrown food. You know, beef or whatever it is. Carrots, tatties. Because they've sold all the farmland off to developers to build houses. Because they'll bog off with the money. The developers will get the money. And then, do you think they're going to turn up and help out when things go sour? No, they're not, are they? Right, let's go and have a look at this idiot guy. Right, and then I'm going to have my tea. We'll try and get on with this quick. Okay. Right, Reyes here, he moves in this conversation. I've noticed that a lot of them do that. They jump on other people's threads. So that's just what they do. What else happening here? Right, so I mean, we had it out with that. So this guy, they pay nothing for the use of it. We're talking about cyclists, net zero Numptys cyclists holding up traffic here, Falkirk to Scotland. I'll try and make this quick. They pay nothing for the use of the road, so get to the forest trails out the road, right? So this guy is stating the obvious that they don't actually pay to use the roads, which they don't. Cyclists don't. I mean, that's a fact, right? They don't. So we've got that idea that Trent he was right. He just wasn't shifting his ideas whatsoever. So me and him battled out yesterday on our thread and really got nowhere, except I get traffic. That's why I'm doing it. And so you see all the numpty cyclists are agreeing, you know, with each other. So this is quite a considerably big video for me, but it's got a lot of people really don't like it. So you're agreeing, it's having a go at green communism is what it's doing. So the green communists are not happy. So it's like the nature of YouTube is you're not necessarily got to be loved, you know, but the name of the game is to get traffic. And you could put up a bit of abuse, but not too much. So this guy jumps in. He's been at me before in these cycling type videos. Slarty fart blast. Roads are funded out of general taxation. Taxes are not hypothecated. So that's, you know, like, well, why would you say hypothecated, you know? So he's I believe he's probably trying to be superior for no reason, really. So we'll have a look at his actual. So there he goes. Cycling infrastructure in the UK. So he's an expert, this guy, mind. In the UK, it's generally of low quality. It's also generally poorly designed, poorly maintained. There are examples where infrastructure has included flights of steps or other obstacles such as width restrictions, gates, multiple bollards, sometimes in swarms, bus shelters, fences, and that's an unusual word to use, bollards, swarms, fences, railings, and etc. This is why cycling infrastructure is so often little used. These can render passage on a solo bicycle virtually impossible. The idiots respond for such atrocities seem incapable of understanding that other types of cycle exists, e.g. tricycles. Weird. Who the fuck uses a tricycle? Do you? I mean, how many? Do you know anybody that uses tricycle? I don't. Right. There was a report some time ago, he says, which examined the externalities of motoring. This is what this guy's saying. IIRC. The conclusion was that car drivers were subsidised by around $2,000 per year on average. So he's turning around and telling us that we're subsidised. You know, I mean, you just sit there and go, wait a minute. Every time I go near my car, I'm paying money. Every time I put fuel in it, or road tax, you know, you name it, I'm paying money. And this guy reckons we're subsidised because of the IIRC, which I didn't know anything about. I looked it up. So we looked it up. So I said to him, they sound like cousins of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Therefore, I would take anything they say with a very large pinch of salt. Roads are an absolute requirement of modern society, and I suppose it's a possibility they are right, but I would struggle with the £2,000 figure, unless we are talking London. And of course, no roads equals no bicycles, lorries or commerce. Nice deflection, says Slarty Fartblast, but your pinch of salt was uncalled for. It was a University of Dresden study in 2008. The external cost per vehicle in the UK was €2,000. Alright, so it's €2,000 now, not pounds. Oh, well, never mind. External costs are costs not covered by taxation, i.e. a de facto subsidy. Obviously things have changed somewhat, but I suspect for ICE vehicles not a huge amount has changed. See, he's got his bum boys there's a bum boys, a green one. 3. If any of you are watching this, go and give me a bit of support, will you? Then he's answering Thomas Nelson. That's the guy that's saying they should get off the bloody roads and get out of the frigging way, which is common sense. The perennial complaint from drivers that they are excessively taxed. The reality is that motorists are not excessively taxed. They are undertaxed. Drivers pay no taxes for the roads that non-drivers do not pay. There are no taxes hypothecated for roads in the UK. There he goes again, with his fancy word. I don't know this is me. I don't know the study. I'm certainly not going to go and look at it. But given the billions stolen from motorists, ICE vehicles of course, I find the figure unbelievable. Given the passage of time, of course, the figures will probably require revision and leave you with the problem of where to place electric vehicles who are massively subsidised by the public, and we have yet to know their through-life costs. Right? So then, the other answer is, that's the one about the perennial complaint. As a motorist, you are highly taxed to drive on the roads. If you don't drive on the roads, you are not taxed. Farmers generally don't pay tax on tractors, for instance. So as a vehicle owner who drives on the roads, excessive taxes are applied by the government. The perennial complaint is that money is not spent on the roads. Cyclists, of course, pay nothing. So then he kind of steps out of line a bit here, this guy. Are you on drugs? I mean, he didn't say that. Normally I would block somebody for that. But because it's been so entertaining, I don't want to block him because I don't want to lose all this. But we're not going to lose it because if we could block him later because we're getting it copied off here. So now he's wanting me to give him references. Would you like to give references? What an arsehole. So I'm saying to him, keep it clean, please. That's about the drugs. You can look at the government's income statement where you will find all the money stolen from motorists. I'm not sure if you're actually allowed to say that DRUGS. I'm not sure. Because I remember I watched a lot of videos where a lot of like Neil Oliver and that wouldn't even mention it. They're sort of saying it in a funny sort of way. So I could be in trouble for saying that. Although I've said it a few times, never been caught out, so I'll hate to try not to say that word, which is why I don't want people saying it on here, right? This is Slatty Fart Blast. All nations need some kind of government. You know what, I'm going to start calling him his name, actually. He's got his name here. Sea Sovereign. Sea Sovereign. Sea Sovereign. All nations need some kind of government. In a democracy, he's quite a nasty piece of work, this guy. In a democracy, the government is elected in some way. In a democracy, the population can choose a different government if they so choose. Oh, really? A government needs money to operate and to provide services in a legal system, police force, armed forces, etc. The government needs to levy taxes for the above, says Sea Sovereign. The government passes laws to give themselves the power to raise said taxes. Therefore, monies raised by governments are lawfully obtained. If you don't like this, go somewhere else. That's where he's getting nasty, you know. But they will very likely have taxes too. But why should I go somewhere else? Why can't I fight the system in my country where I come from? Why do I have to go somewhere else? To paraphrase Winston Churchill, democracy is the worst kind of government except for all the others, so I've got to go somewhere else. His bum boys are disappearing. He's only got one. So what I said to him was, we don't operate under the Napoleonic laws as the continent do. A British citizen is free. They do not exist at the will of the government. The government operates because I say so. And although we have only had one instance of the forcible removal of the government, that option still exists. The current government only has 20% of, are you listening to this? 20% of the population behind it. In no way is that democracy. And at some point, this will all boil over, then minority interests like yours will be swept away by the majority. 90% of the people agree with me, not you. Sea Sovereign says, your projection is amusing, he says. So then I says to him, so ironic. If there's anything else we can help you with, please don't hesitate. You have a nice day. I don't know if there's something went in there. Nah, there's nothing in there. So that's him. That's me. That's him farted. That's him well and truly blasted. I will say a prayer for you on Sunday. Right. So that was that. I hope you found that interesting. I know it's maybe not, probably not. It's difficult to get across exactly. You know, there's it there. There's him there. So he's bailed out. He's bombed out. He thought it was going to be a walk in the park. That's the sort of feeling you get off them. They come in and they think, oh, this is going to be easy. And then they go away and off. I mean, to say projections are amusing is like, well, why did he not sort all this out? He couldn't, could he? So there he is again. Sea Sovereign. I don't know where that name comes from. Sovereign. Sovereign. I'm assuming it's French. It was found in the UK in 18. It was Channel Islands. That's not surprising actually, because I kind of thought it was French. Sovereign. Historically. Sovereign family history. Alright, so you've got to search. This is, I don't want to start bloody giving them money to get my bloody DNA tested. Sovereign. 2,586 records found for Sovereign. So then, census records. I don't know if you've got to start paying up. You know, I don't want to pay that, do I? There you go. Oh, that was a mistake, right? So it was in the Channel Islands. Swiss alright, I thought it was French. Locative name from Swavian, Loire Valley. The Loire Valley. Get the name French Sauvignon. Right, there you go. Right, that's it. Don't overcook your goose. 5,320. There's the European style bath. I think that'll do for now. Thanks for watching. We'll go and check the fire. There it is. So that's Dale. That's going nicely. So I've used a little bit of paper to get it going, that's all. I think that's fine. You know, I think the dickhead that complained about that's just been an arse. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to give and take when you've got neighbours and things like that. You can't. If you start going down that reporting people route, it doesn't end well. You know, so it's best to avoid that at all costs. You know, if you do get involved in that, you are a numpty. But I mean, really, I try and sort of get on. You know, but generally people will use anything to get at you. You know, it could be your car, your fire, you know. I think if you live in a more squashed in environment, you're more likely to get it. Somebody complaining about. I had them complain about my cars years ago. I had a few cars and somebody phoned up the environment or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, you do have a right to do what makes you, you know, you've got a right to pursue your hobbies and be happy. But you can't like break a car out in the middle of the road or something. Which is like something that I did do years ago, yeah. So I wouldn't dream of doing that now. But that's just like a sort of development in your life, innit? I wouldn't break a car out my back. I probably not. I think I would have done it one time, but now it's just too messy. It's too much work. It's too messy. I can't be arsed. You know, really. That's why I wouldn't do that. I'm not totally ruling it out, but I probably wouldn't. I did think about buying a Stirling to get bits for the other Stirling. But okay, right, I'm rambling on here. Yeah, you've got to live. I don't exactly know exactly what I said there, was a bit vague. But I pretty do know really, but I don't want to let on. And so I really shouldn't be oversharing too much. But that's sort of the reason why I'm recording the fire lighting session. And plus it's making quite a good video as well, you know, so there's also a win-win situation. And I stopped using paper. I started buying fire lighters, more than what I had been. And I've started selling them in Edinburgh, so, you know, make a wee profit out of it. Like 20 pence or something. So I'd hate to sell like 3 million boxes of fire lighters. No, if it was, alright, okay, you're rambling, right? So thanks for watching. Bye!